No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen. We can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen. Every once in a while, I need to hear it again. I need to hear myself say it, and I'm awakened. Boys, welcome to the Perfect Play Pursuit.
Thanks for having me.
You're always
I do not endorse anything that Luke said on the recap episode about the Dagestanis. It's all his escapade. I have nothing to do with it. I don't think Dan endorses it either, but I just want to.
I'm just an observer. You know, I gave myself the black screen of shame, just like I'm wearing the black shades of shame. I'm all full of shame, so don't blame me. My hands are clean.
Well, if you want to hear me disparage the community of Dagestani fighters and also about how I lost thousands of dollars over the last few weeks, go check out the recap episode. We just did it. We're gonna separate them because we got kind of like four different kinds of fans here. We got the fans of the show who like the banter. We'll go watch that recap episode. It's there for you. There's all the banter. We got the fans that just like the straight picks. Here it is. This is the show for you. We're gonna break down O'Malley versus Vera, UFC 299. We're gonna break it down for you right here, right now. We're gonna be talking stats. We're gonna be talking five-star criteria breakdowns where I examine the height and the reach and the strength, all the important information related to the fights. When I keep talking about these guys' personal lives, that is for the Patreon. That's for the prelims episode. We'll sneak in the NSFW opinions there. Go to the Patreon, subscribe for the full year. You get access to the open bets sheet where we can show you everything that we're betting that weekend. And you get an extra episode of the show, and you get our picks listed out nice and neatly for you. You get to DM me, you get to chat with me, you get to tell me what you like or don't like about the show, what you want me to change. I will have you on the show if you join the Patreon. So get in there, do whatever you want. We love you. Guys, welcome to Perfect Play Pursuit. We're pursuing another perfect parlay here, breaking down UFC 299. As we said, we had a big 50-minute discussion about last week's chaotic, disgusting card. Go check that out. But here, we're just going to talk about UFC 299. It's a big card. It's stacked. And you've heard that everywhere else. You've seen it yourself. A lot of good fights to break down. Without further ado, let's get the fuck into it. O'Malley, Chito Vera. What do we think about this one, boys? These guys have fought before, so why waste time, right? Just go look at the first fight. Then you got your answer, pretty much. It's already happened. Got the answers to the test right in the back of the book there. What am I missing?
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard fight to call here. My opinion of Marlon Chito Vera has been lower than ever as of late. But, you know, he did beat Sean O'Malley, and a lot of people bring up the leg kicks and the perennial nerve and the drop foot, but Marlon Chito Vera finished that fight on the ground with elbows. Sure, it got there because of the drop foot, but Sean O'Malley had arms. He could have blocked his face and, you know, cleaned that up, retained guard, let the leg recover a little bit and get back out there like we've seen fighters do in the past. He got finished on the ground by Marlon Vera due to elbows. I think I'm going to roll with Sean here, but everything points to Chito. I'm just so low on Chito from every performance that he's ever had in the UFC ever, where he goes out there in the first round and is very cavalier about the whole situation, very nonchalant, goes out there acting like he doesn't want to fight and then tries to win it back in the fifth round. So much so that he bums out his coach. His coach is in the corner telling him he's bummed out, man. Yo, man, I'm so bummed out by your performance, man. Can you just get in there and show a little fire, man? You can't have a surfer boy in your corner. I'm going with Sean O'Malley.
Dude, listen, it's interesting you say that because you're Jason Perillo. If you had any hair in your head, you'd be yanking it out every week with Mackenzie Dern, Luke Rockhold, Marlon Vera, and he's got another fucking knucklehead that he corners too. But my point is
Bisping for a while.
Yeah, but it's Bisping can follow a game plan at least.
Mm-hmm.
You know, none of those three I named though like to follow a game plan, like to do wise things in fights, find ways to put themselves at a disadvantage sometimes. And yeah, we joked around on this podcast, and I was saying like I'd rather fight Jamie Pickett or I'd rather fight Josh Parisian than fucking Chito Vera, because at least these fat heavyweights are less skilled, they're slower. I can see a lot of ways I could beat them. Chito Vera, he's in shape. I'm gonna have to fight him, and I said I'm gonna have to fight him for 25 minutes. And then I was like, actually, I have a pretty good shot at fighting Chito for 25 minutes because he's gonna probably take the first 2 or 3 rounds off. So I mean, I'm like, I might even win a couple rounds against Chito. I might be going into the 4th round like, damn, he didn't do anything in those first 2. I fucking at least landed a leg kick. But that's the reality, that even in a title fight, you can't trust Chito Vera to go in there and fight in round 1 or in round 2. Sometimes not even.
But he did against Sean the first time. He went in there with a fucking fire under his ass. He didn't like Sean. He went in there and he tried to beat his ass in the first round.
It's different now. It's different now. I'm telling you, it's different now. This is why this sport's so great, right? Because nothing I'm going to say right now has anything to do with Chito Vera's triangle chokes or his hammer fists or his elbows or his knees. It has nothing to do with Sugar Sean's range. It has nothing to do with his right hand or his left hand. Everything I'm saying right now is about vibes. It's about Fifth Element type shit. It's about
5-star criteria. All 5 go to shit when the vibe isn't right.
You can't judge it off of the vibe or off of the 5-star criteria. If you had been doing that up to this point, you would have said, Sugar Sean ain't fought nobody. How's he going to beat Peter Yan? Sugar Sean ain't fought nobody. He's got no ground game. How's he going to survive when the human backpack Aljamain Sterling's on him? Everybody is the smartest guy in the room, Poindexter with their pencil and their pocket protector until shit happens and you have to realign your whole way of thinking. So what I try to do is live in the ethereal realm and align my thinking with the future now. So I'm not aiming where they are. I'm aiming where they're going to be. Sugar Sean O'Malley needed grooming. Like we said, he wasn't in the Mickey Mouse Club. He wasn't in MK Ultra. He's not a CIA plant. This is just a know-nothing kid from Montana who found his way to the 2nd most boring place in the world, Arizona. And he doesn't have an ounce of charisma. Only he could look like he looks and still not be able to fog a glass with his words, right? I mean, it's like he needs all of that look because really, and I'd say this as a compliment. I mean, I really do mean this as a compliment. Because of this, Sugar Sean is the type of guy I'd like to hang out with because he's just not a psycho. He's not a fucking actor. He's not a psycho. He's not a rapper. He's a martial artist kid who wanted to be a fighter. He's an athletic kid. You know what I mean? He's a video game kind of kid. He's a normal guy, really. But the grooming is being taken place. He's being lifted on an ascension path right now where he's getting treated like a star that he felt in his mind. He's being affirmed, confirmed. All of these things are syncing up and manifesting the reality that he had pictured in his own head. And for that reason, he's going to perform better and better and better. And for that reason, his opponents are going to shrink and shrink and shrink. When Marlon Vera fought him the first time, Sugar Sean was like the punk kid. His body type was also different. He didn't have the miles. He didn't have the rind on him that he does now. And Marlon also had all the backdraft of like confirmation of people telling him that he's going to be like, the one to disrupt that sort of hype train, right? It was a different time, guys. It was the pandemic. It was Apex cards with no audience. I mean, this was a really weird and different time. We're on a completely different axis now. We're on a completely different zodiac. The stars are in different positions, and I think Sugar Sean wins by decision. A lot of people, Sugar Sean talks about putting people's lights out. I'm going to be the first one to put Marlon Vera's lights out. But he also says all this stuff, and then it doesn't happen, and he makes excuses and corrects afterwards. So it's all good, but he's not knocking Marlon Vera out. Marlon Vera is too stubborn, too masculine, and too hard-headed, figuratively, literally, and metaphorically, to be knocked out by Sugar Sean. But Marlon will do what Marlon does. He will sacrifice the first 3 rounds. He will get off to a slow start. Sugar Sean is the notorious fast starter. Marlon Vera will win rounds 4 and rounds 5. Sugar Sean will win the decision. Others will say Marlon won. It will set up a perfect trilogy for Sean's greatest rival, Marlon Vera. It will push Merab yet again to the back of the bus. He'll get the Bilal Muhammad treatment. They'll be like, no. Dana Boyle will say, we're gonna do something good for Merab. We're gonna take care of Merab. We're gonna do something good for Merab. They're gonna give him like I don't know, who could they? He has no stars in this division, so who could they really give him? You know what I mean? But my point is, it's written that way. It's going to be a close and controversial decision with Sugar Sean winning the early rounds and Marlon Vera winning the late rounds. Marlon Vera will drop Sugar Sean at one point, but it'll be quick, and Sugar Sean will be up very quickly. And Marlon Vera will go,
Well, how do I follow up that?
One last thing. Marlon Vera.
One last thing. What? Throw the cherry on top.
I did. He's a fashionista. He hangs out with Action Bronson too much, and I don't like that about what he does. He's too much of a star fucker. Marlon Vera, you're a star fucker. There you go. Everyone else is too scared to say it. Truth be told, I'm a little scared to say it too, but you need to hear it. You're a star fucker.
I'm not even going to repeat that. That's a hideous word. Really awful.
Takes one to know one.
It takes one
to know one. It takes one to know one.
No, don't condemn yourself like that. That's not what the show is about.
I said it. I'm a star.
It is a hard act for me to follow, though. What you just did there, the whole thing, you really broke it down well. The gods will smile upon O'Malley. I'm also going to go with O'Malley here, and I actually 100% agree with you with your scenario of O'Malley's going to be dominating. He's going to be putting up the numbers, but there will be a moment where Vera has a potentially fight-ending, combination or whatever it might be. Does O'Malley have the chutzpah to get through that, get back on the gravy train, putting up combinations and volume himself, put it back on course, and win the title? I think so. I think Corey Sandhagen really put out the playbook on how to beat Chito, and I think O'Malley has all the same tools, right? It's all the twitching and the feinting and moving around and all that. I think that's right up Sean O'Malley's alley, and yeah.
O'Malley's
I don't know if it's decision or finish. Probably decision because Vera's tough. He's a hard out, but I'll probably hedge if I get that far, to be honest. I really will. I'll just enjoy the fight. I'm going to wash my hands of it just like I'm washing my hands of all the gratuitous things on this show. We'll see.
O'Malley's Alley, where you can get your shoe shine and your pocket picked all in one night. True or false, guys? This fight is Covington versus Masvidal light.
True.
Alex.
What?
True or false? O'Malley versus Vera is Covington versus Masvidal light.
It's a good comp.
False.
Okay. I think that it could end with them both spitting mad, talking shit, and pushing each other, and like no formal hand raising kind of ceremony. And if they're both smart, that's how it should end. Mm-hmm. If it's going to the judge's decision, they need to be still spitting mad at each other, pushing each other, even if it's not real. You guys, that's their duty to do that, to set up that third fight. But I do think that when the fight ends and Sugar Sean is announced the winner by split decision, they will hug. He will pat him on the head and say, "I respect you. I've always respected you. You have a great family. You're a great dad." And he's going to say, "You too, bro. You're a great dad. You're not a cuck."
Nice.
Well, you are a cuck, but it's okay.
In this episode, I don't.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
All right, next fight. Got my Onyx here. I told the people in the recap episode we were fucking around with Amethyst. What do they say in the military when they say like they go like he's like if you're
I don't know, but I've been told Eskimo pussy is mighty cold.
You're set up. Like you're set up. Like I'm doing my activities with this thing.
This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is for fight, and this is for fun.
It's my setup. It's my grunt. It's my the word I'm looking for is like
loadout.
My loadout. That's a word. Yeah, but it's not. So yeah, I'm running. I was running Amethyst. For a couple weeks now, got no results off the Amethyst, touching the Amethyst. And it's because Amethyst makes you a dreamer, is what they were saying about Amethyst. It helps with dreams. But Onyx, they said Onyx is grounding. It's root chakra. It's earthly. They say this connects you to the here and the now. This connects you to stability protection, right? So We lost a lot of money the past couple weeks with the Amethyst. We're rocking Onyx. We're running Onyx now. Okay. So I'll be having my
Pokemon.
hand. If you see me do this, it just means my hand's on the Onyx. Don't have no fear.
Yeah, that's what you got your hand on.
Come on, Dan.
All
All right, O'Malley versus Vera 2, UFC 299, second fight of the night. It's my old nemesis, Dustin Poirier, back from the dead, taking on Benoit Saint-Denis.
Luke, get your ski mask.
So, we're robbing the bank, boys. It's Benoit Saint-Denis. It's Benoit Saint-Denis by finish. He's going to stomp out Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is not who you think he is. He's not who he used to be. He never was who you thought he was. He's the most on-paper good fighter. He's actually not. He's C tier. And Dustin Poirier, I predicted he would get knocked out by Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje came in there as an underdog, did knock him out. He's coming off that knockout. Exactly what happened to Volkanovski. That's what's going to happen to Dustin Poirier. And all the fans, same thing. They're going to have that meme where it's like the FBI agent looking through the camera of my phone. It's okay, boss. I'm crying too. And then it'll be a picture of Dustin Poirier unconscious, a picture of Volk unconscious. You know what I mean? And it'll be all the fan. And yeah, it'll be like all those. It'll be like, don't worry, son. I'm crying. I ain't crying. I ain't fucking crying. So I'm not one of those pray for this man, bless this man's heart at all costs. I love his hot sauce. I love his fucking wife and his kid. I don't give a fuck about anything but the fights. All right. So Dustin Poirier, don't like him. He's a showboat. He's a bad sport. He's a bad winner and he's a bad loser. Sore loser, cries when he loses, gloats when he wins. Piece of shit. Fuck you, Dustin. Get knocked out by Benoit Saint-Denis. I hope he stomps a mud hole in your ass. And the only thing I'm worried about is that I could easily see in my mind's eye Benoit Saint-Denis' stupid-ass manager, his stupid-ass agent, his Illuminati handler that fucking work at the UFC, telling him like, hey, man, we're here in Florida, UFC 299, biggest stack card of the year, man. Oh, man, this type of fight is one that could put you on the map, man. This type of fight doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's just about the type of fight you have, man. And Poirier, he's the type of guy to give you that kind of fight, man. Think about Chandler versus Gaethje. Who lost that fight? You don't even remember. Fight of the year, man. This is your fight of the year moment, man. So don't even worry. Just go out there and slug it out, toe-to-toe, center of the ring, man. They're going to be telling him that. And he's a fucking...
No, they're not.
Yeah,
they're not going to say that.
He's a military, Army Ranger, Navy SEAL, but the French version kind of guy. He's going to be like easily brainwashed and manipulated to do their bidding, right? So he's going to be exactly in this. And we already saw it in the fight he had with Zaleski, Elizu Zaleski. He did just that. He stood there toe-to-toe and got the shit kicked out of him and lost the decision.
Well, that's his style. That's what he's been doing and being successful.
Gave the fans what they wanted, showed his heart, but lost the decision. I can easily see that happening here. I could see him doing a boxing match with Dustin the entire time. And Dustin being like, and him being like, oh, you know what I mean? Like laughing and smiling along with the fact that he's getting jabbed by Dustin and he's literally playing into Dustin's hand. That could happen. That could happen.
He's not going to be laughing and giggling with him.
I think he's going to be walking straight forward, throwing body kicks, and Dustin's going to be going, trying to block it like he did McGregor. And he's going to go, yeah, I don't have these little brittle fucking Lucky Charms bones. I got fucking big French Special Forces bones. I'm going to put them through your rib cage and your elbow. And he's going to blast Dustin so bad, break his arm, and then go to the chin, knock his ass out. Yeah. BSD by KO. But here's what could happen. He could also knock him down and choke him out. If y'all know Dustin loves getting choked out and claiming he's a black belt. You know what I mean? Islam Makhachev was talking about Dustin Poirier when he said there's a lot of fake black belts around here. And that's a fact. That's who he was talking about. So you might think Khabib respects you, but he was laughing about you with Islam behind your back.
You don't let the drops go for nearly long enough.
I just wanted to laugh. I just wanted to laugh. This is Khabib and Islam laughing at the fact that Dustin Poirier says he has a black belt.
Dan, what do you think about this one?
I have gone back and forth on this. I'm not going to lie. I'm not as cut and dry. I won't lie. I'm going to go with Benoit Saint-Denis. I think that he is 5-round ready. I think that, look, maybe that crazy psycho guy goes up to him in the back and says, you gotta, what? I can't even.
We're gonna be like, hey, think about it, man.
That wasn't an invitation for you to do it again. We heard it. We get it. I think that's his style anyway. He walks forward like a man possessed and he throws down, not because that's fan friendly. That's how he best fights. Okay. It's like taking a raunchy comic. It's like, no, you got to work clean. Because if you can't do it clean, also, you're not a real comic. I'm a dirty comic. That's what this is. So I think for a 5-round fight, you gotta kill this man to get him out of the octagon. You gotta kill him. And Dustin Poirier, he's not coming with the firepower. Okay, this guy has seen the trenches of Europe. I just can't wait
to have a drop that is Dan saying, "I'm a dirty comic."
I just wrote down the time he said it.
Whenever he makes a joke, I'm just gonna throw it in there. I'm a dirty comic. I'm like, guys, you know Dan, like he's dirty comic. He's gonna make that joke, he's got this. You can't let him zing you. You can't let Dan zap you like that. He's gonna get you.
Oh my gosh.
Kevin
that was
Holland,
hilarious.
Michael Page, fight of the night.
I didn't give my pick yet.
Oh yeah, true.
I texted the boys this morning about this. Dustin Poirier is going to win. This is going to be Lukey cries in his beer. This is going to be the worst of the worst. He would have rather Bobby Knuckles win than this. Dustin Poirier is going to piss in your grapes. It's going to be just like the Oleski fight. And this one's 5 rounds, 5-round fight for the second BMFist guy in the UFC. Yeah, I'm going with Dustin Poirier. I don't like it. This pick stinks. I hate Dustin Poirier. I don't like anything he stands for. But this is just like a classic fight that he would win. A hot up-and-coming guy, hasn't really been tested against anybody. You look at the guys that Benoit Saint-Denis has fought, they're all shit. I guess we could have said that about DDP too, but at least those guys were like pretty damn good. Like Matt Frivola, been knocked out before by shitty T-Rex Terrence McKinney. Thiago Moises, Butt Scooter, Ismail Bonfim. The Bonfim brothers are frauds. Gabriel Miranda, not too familiar with him. Nicholas Stoltz sucks. Oleski, he's good. But other than that, no one else of note. I'm going with Dustin the Diamond Poirier with pain in my heart doing it.
I would love to see a highlight reel of everybody else. Uriah Hall after he broke Chris Weidman's leg, Chris Weidman after he broke Anderson Silva's leg, and how they just kind of kept calm and composed and just were like, oh shit, that was crazy. Like, yeah, he's really hurt. I'm going to chill. And then you got Dustin trying to hit the fucking billionaire strut while in McGregor's face while he's laying there with a broken fucking leg. Like, no class. You can take the swamp out of you can take the boy out of the swamp and stick him in the desert, but you can never take the fucking swamp out of his soul. Because that guy, and I say the swamp, I'm more so talking about Trump's version, what Trump means by the swamp. I'm not even talking about those fine lands in Louisiana that I love so very, very much. I'm not talking about the bayou. You know what I mean? About the muck that resides in Poirier's heart. And you hear the stories, but I just don't know how that guy's not viewed as a heel figure. So many of the soft-hearted MMA fans love Dustin Poirier. Why? Because he's friends with Theo fucking Vaughn. That's literally the only reason, guys. I promise you, if you ask me, Luke, marketing analysis, why do people like Dustin Poirier? I'd be like, because he did Theo Vaughn's podcast. That's the only fucking reason. He's got all Theo Vaughn's fucking fans who are like the sweetest people in the world. Like, Theo Vaughn's fans are like, this is the average Theo Vaughn fan. Works at CVS and a nursing home, makes $30,000 a year, works 60 hours a week.
Single mom, works 2 jobs.
No. This is a 22-year-old kid, boy. You know what I mean? He weighs 90. He's 5'5". You know what I mean?
That's a fat kid.
I'm saying the average Theo Vaughn fan works 60 hours a week and makes $30,000 a year. Fact.
Good on him.
I'm talking retail, minimum wage, part-time, but spread out across 3 different jobs, no health benefits.
The world needs ditch diggers too, you know.
I am not even ditch diggers are a separate thing. You guys aren't seeing what I'm saying mall worker. Okay? I'm saying retail, low retail. Like Claire's Boutique, CVS, a nursing home. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on. MVP. And I'm saying those people are Dustin Poirier fans too, is what I'm trying to say. They're like, and I like Steve-O, and I like Dustin Poirier, and I like Theo Vaughn. They're my guys, you know.
Dustin Poirier sucks. Agreed.
If your 3 favorite celebrities were Steve-O, Theo Vaughn, and Dustin Poirier,
you might be.
I want to save you. I want to be like, how much money do I have to give you every year for you to?
Not enough. You probably played in the NFL. That's probably like your entire life. Those 3
I'm
guys.
actually describing a lot of different types of men right now. A lot of men are like, what's wrong with Steve-O? I'm like,
what isn't wrong with Steve-O? That's a better question. But Luke, you bring up a good point with the broken leg. A broken leg is coming for Dustin Poirier. If not this fight, in his next 3 fights, he's going to break his leg. We've seen it happen to every guy who breaks a leg, ends up breaking his own.
Facts. Yeah, no, that's awesome. That would be great. I would love that to happen. MVP versus Kevin Holland. This is the fight of the night. This is the people's main event. This is the best fight on the card, if you ask me. I'm so fucking excited for this fight. And it's so hard to really predict what's going to happen, right? Because you got a guy in Kevin Holland who has the UFC tenure and but has 10 losses, right? Then you have a guy in Michael Venom Page only has 2 fucking losses in his MMA career. Doesn't that feel like wrong? Like, doesn't it feel like you've seen him lose more than that? But no, 2 losses, and one of them that is not listed in this was against Michael Perry in bare knuckle. But a fight like, yeah, there's one way. Here's how you can look at it, right?
That counts in his MMA record.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. I'm saying that you know, it was
his boxing record. His bare knuckle boxing record, that is.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, it's a fight. It's a fight. You know, but if you're calibrating it, it's not like he lost like Luke Rockhold lost. Like he fought Mike tooth and nail. It was a close split decision. He's fighting Mike in the one area that Mike is like so uber talented in. So yeah, I don't.
And Perry's the guy who is signed to this promotion. He's obviously going to get the rub, no matter how close it is.
Exactly. So I personally think that this is an interesting matchup because the way Holland loses is not the way Venom Page wins. And the way that Venom Page loses is generally not the way that Holland wins. So how are either of these guys going to manage to win? What I think is going to happen is that Kevin Holland is going to get knocked the fuck out. Michael Venom Page. No, I really do. I think it's going to be a striking match, and I think Kevin Holland Holland's getting knocked the fuck out. Kevin, you broke my heart, my friend. You broke my heart. Kev, I bet $1,000 on you to beat Stephen Wonderboy Thompson at even money odds.
Oh, wait, another bank robbery? Are you talking about another bank robbery?
I put the ski mask on. I was going to rob the bank that night, Kev.
How iconic that you're trying to rob a bank on this evening with one of your mortal nemesis.
When I sent you that text, I didn't say bank robbery text. I said top secret parlay. Don't tell anybody. That's what
I didn't tell anybody. You're the only one who brought up a top secret parlay. I just knew you were going to try to rob the bank.
It was a confidential bet that I sent you. Okay. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, me and Kev, not Kev. I was like, how are they putting Kevin Holland at pick'em prices against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson? How are they doing this? Wonderboy is old. He's got gray hair in his head. Kevin Holland is young. He's talented. He's longer, faster, stronger, better striker, better jiu-jitsu. Maybe not better striker, but like more athletic, right? Like, and you rocked him in that first round. You broke your hand on his head. But Kev, you pretty much fixed the fight.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
And I mean, you did the commercial afterwards where you and Wonderboy are like talking during the fight and talking to the ref and doing all this communication. And then you have this pre-fight arrangement with Wonderboy. It's all looking very Krausian to me. So I'm washing my hands of Kevin Holland. I don't know what he's going to do next. I don't know what kind of backroom deals he's got worked out to do certain little things here and there. So I'm done with the Kevin Holland situation. Michael Venom Page, emphatically, he's the better striker. And he's fought guys that are way better at jiu-jitsu than Kev and better wrestlers than Kev. And Kev ain't getting him down to the mat. he's going to probably need to. He won't be able to. He's going to end up striking with Michael Venom Page. Venom Page is going to knock his ass out. Body kick, 2-punch combination. Actually, just a body kick. He hits him with a liver body kick, and then Kev goes down. Followed up.
I'll side with you on this one, Luke. I'll go with MVP as well. I was originally thinking, the youth and the athleticism of Holland will probably win the day. But, looking at Holland's resume, it's really not overwhelming. He feasts on the old guys who are, dwindling towards the end of their career. MVP, 36, probably not on the better end of the spectrum, but I think he's still got it. I don't think he's wilting away. So I'll take the guy who probably takes the sport more seriously, or just his life in a disciplined manner, and is going to come bring in the best that he's got, like he does 21 out of 23 times. Whereas Kevin, he's been such a, up and down, never know what you're going to get. I don't want to bet on that. The youth really doesn't matter when it comes to Kevin Holland, because he could easily gas out, and he could, his youth goes against him as far as his boneheaded mistakes. So even though he's a UFC vet, he still makes mistakes in there. I'll take MVP. Plus, just think about it. Like, the UFC, they want to showcase the guy that they just signed. Like, this is a new guy they're excited about. Like, Kevin Holland already has 10 losses, and even in MMA, like 10 is a little unacceptable. We'll take MVP, the new shiny toy, and we'll take that money line. I believe he's a dog, so
I take cage dialogue over strikes that connect.
From an entertainment standpoint, me too. But yeah, like, I would take 20 less punches for 20 more words in any fight. So here's the thing. Kevin Holland had a really great moment in the sun during the pandemic when he fought 4 or 5 times a year. Dana White's buying him shoes. He's like talking him up at all the press conferences. He goes from Big Mouth to Trailblazer to Kevin Holland. He's just, a household name from the pandemic, being a true pandemic hero. The downfall kind of came with that Chimaev situation. That was the jumping of the shark, where it was like, okay, yeah, like Kevin Holland's going to fight Chimaev on fucking, no notice, right? I mean, that was kind of crazy. But I think, yeah. So that was because I won't even say that the accidental headbutt with Dawkins was the real downfall, because he got 2 back-to-back wins right after that, 2 back-to-back finishes. But like you said, Dan, beating up on rusty old vets. Then he gets in there with Chimaev and gets absolutely outclassed. And then goes in there with Wonder Boy. Okay, this is the type of Tim Means, Alex Oliveira, Derek Brunson type of opponent that you should win against, and he finds a way not to, right? Then, Ponzinibbio, okay. Chiesa is the biggest bitch that's ever fought in the UFC. Jack Della Maddalena, Jack Della, like, who knows about this guy? But my point is, I know
about him. He sucks.
He's a weirdo is what he is. He's a fucking weirdo. But I think you're right, Dan. I think it's the professionalism of Michael Venom Page. I think it's the fact that Kevin Holland has 19 UFC fights. This is old hat to him at this point. Whereas for Mr. Venom Page, this is like that first Ben Askren versus Robbie Lawler fight. Remember the reception Ben Askren got when Michael Venom Page gets asked a bunch of questions and the crowd is cheering for him, and he's like, oh shit, these UFC fans know my ass, because there's nothing a UFC fan likes more than to be the cool guy in the room who knows about the guy who hasn't been in the UFC, right? So it's going to be everybody who's anybody within the UFC, and like the Daniel Cormier commentary crew. It's going to be like, oh, MVP, what's up, man? Great to have you here. So glad you finally made it. Like, it's going to be hyping him up. It's going to be fueling him, giving him energy, like, I'm here, let's go. And for Kevin Holland, it's going to be a little bit of kind of like chip on your shoulder, kind of like, you and your group of friends get a new friend, and then you show up to the house to hang out with all your friends, and that new friend's there before you got there, and he's holding court, and you're like, oh, okay, we're all really good friends with him now. Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I'm the one who brought him around. So, that's how Kevin Holland's going to be feeling.
You hear that, Kyle?
PPP certify MVP. I'm also going Michael Venom Page. Although he's older, I think he's going to be a little faster in there. And Kevin Holland, if he fights this anyway, like he fought Stephen Wonderboy, he's going to have a way rougher time, because by all regards, I think MVP is a lot better than Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, a lot faster, and a lot more dangerous than Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I'm going with MVP. It could be like a staring fest where they're just a lot of movement looking at each other. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully Michael Venom Page puts on a performance of a lifetime. I'm sad the UFC got him a little too late. I don't think he's ever going to be a champion, but he will win this fight. This is a great matchup for him.
He wins this fight, wins one more. You get him in there with Leon in London. So there's.
He's already higher up on the card than number 3 welterweight in the world.
It matters card placement. That's what matters. So, he's. I think you can get him this win. And here's the thing, Kevin Holland. Yeah, he's got all he really has is.
But he gets the shit kicked out of him by Leon Edwards. He gets the shit kicked out of him by. I hate to say it, Bilal Muhammad by Colby Covington.
It's a good fight.
Yeah.
I think that you got Kevin Holland, who has a slight reach advantage and maybe a little bit more youth, but he's still only 5 years younger. And MVP's 36. He's not 37. He's not 38. He's not 39. He's 36. Kevin Holland's 31, 32. That's not that advantageous. And with all the losses and miles Kevin Holland has on him, and even so much recently too, with getting knocked out and it's like that's the stuff that I think matters more. And for his reach, he's gonna want to. I think he's gonna want to take MVP down, but I think he's not gonna be prepared for how athletic, how strong, and the frame, how kind of different he's built. MVP is built like a cyborg. He's gonna get underhooks, position. He's gonna be able to fend off the takedown that Kevin Holland goes for, demoralize him, and fuck him up. I think afterwards. So. And it's going to waste a lot of energy of Kevin's that he's not used to having to do if he tries to take him down. But I don't know. I don't think he will try to take him down. I think he'll end up being a striking match, and that's where he's going to lose. All right, Jack Della, Maddalena, Gilbert Burns. We were just talking about this fool, Jack Della, Maddalena. Yeah, what I was saying was, he fights Basil Hafez, guy who comes in short notice UFC debut, and he wins a split decision that most people think he loses. Fights Kevin Holland, wins a split decision most people think he loses. I think that Jack Della Maddalena is kind of not a prototypical winner. He doesn't find GSP ways to win of just fighting your opponents where they're at their worst. He kind of is one of those I'm just down to fight anyway and just like to fight and fuck that shit. So yeah, I don't like it, but I'm taking Jack Della Maddalena over Gilbert Burns because Gilbert doesn't have any path to victory here. He's not going to submit him and he's not going to knock him out. So how does he win? He doesn't. He loses by decision. Jack Della by decision.
I don't know why he can't do either of those things or win by decision. Never in Gilbert's career has he had back-to-back losses. He's coming off a loss here against Bilal Muhammad. I think, like you said it perfectly. Jack Della Maddalena. I'm just going to call him JDM for short. He's not the guy who finds ways to win. I think it might be a little bit blown out of proportion. He's not on Kevin Holland's level, but you take a guy like Gilbert Burns, and when it's the complete opposite.
I'm putting the ski mask back on, man. This is a pick'em on Tapology, minus 125 Jack Della. If that's the case, unload the dump truck on Jack Della. He's 10 years younger. Okay.
You know what?
Bro,
he's still got it. Gilbert Burns is still got it.
Years old, bro. He's 37 years old.
He hasn't fallen off yet. Even in his losses, the Khamzat fight, you could point to a lot of good things. The Usman fight, at the height of Usman, he knocked his ass down. He's a great fighter, especially at 170. I think he has multiple paths. He can make it a snooze fest and just lean on him like he did Steven at Wonderboy Thompson.
He could never lean on and do that to Jack Della. He could never do that to Jack Della. First of all, Jack's a much better grappler than Wonderboy and possibly even a competent enough grappler to put Gilbert Burns in some bad positions on the ground. How about that?
I think he's good enough of a grappler to think that he could and try and get his ass taken down and get submitted.
Gilbert's not a takedown grappler. He's short, stubby bowling ball. He's not taking guys down.
And he'll get him up against the fence. He'll pressure him up against the fence and then climb that back.
In Luke's defense,
last thing, this is important. He couldn't even get through the Bilal Muhammad fight. He couldn't even get through a round with the most pillow-handed, soft guy in the division who doesn't hurt anybody. Couldn't even get through a round with him without falling apart.
Well, he made it to the end, so.
But severely compromised the entire time.
In Luke's defense here, Gilbert Burns, who is 37 years old, his last opponents, Bilal Muhammad, 35, Jorge Masvidal retired. Neil Magny, he has to be like 37, 38.
Finished him in the first round.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in his 40s. Kamaru Usman, he's almost 40. Tyrone Woodley, he's retired. Damian Maia, he's retired. And then you have to go all the way back to 2019 where he fought Gunnar Nelson, retired, or old as shit. Alexei Kuchenko, who's older than him. The last time he fought somebody with that significant of an age gap was Mike Davis in 2019.
And Masvidal's 31. Yeah. In 2019, it's been since 2019 since Gilbert Burns has fought somebody who's younger than 35. The average age in the UFC is 31 and a half. That means that, and between 31 and 33 is the range. 35 is too old. 170 and below, 35-year-olds lose a fucking lot.
Well, were they over 35 when he fought them? Or are they over 35 now?
It doesn't matter. It's the same.
Yes, it does. If they were 27 years old when he fought them, it doesn't matter. It's 35 now.
He fought Bilal Muhammad less than a year ago, and Bilal's 35. He fought George Masvidal, and who's 39, so irrelevant.
Okay.
Neil Magny, he fought less than a year ago, he's 36. So it's like, yeah, dude, everything Alex said checks out.
Finished him in the first round.
Everybody, but that
except Hamzat.
We're talking about level of opponent. Yeah, he can finish him in the first round. Cool, but what happens when you meet resistance for the first time in almost 6
years? JDM went against Basil, who fucking Alex was murking on the mat, and he almost lost to him. So that's level of competition.
Agree to disagree. Let's just agree to disagree. I'm taking Jack Della. Alex is taking Jack Della. Dan's taking.
I didn't make my pick yet. Did you make yours, Dan?
Yeah, I'm in.
Who'd you pick?
I picked Gilbert Burns. Of course.
I'm also picking Gilbert Burns because Jack Della absolutely sucks.
Absolutely.
The only way he wins is if he knocks out Gilbert Burns. He doesn't win a decision in this.
Peter Yan versus Yadong Song. This is an interesting fight. Really hard for me to predict. Ton of respect for Peter Yan. Coming off 3 fucking losses, all by decision. He's 1-4 in his last 5. His only win coming off of 2 years, 4 months ago. His only win against Corey Sandhagen. Won that fight decisively. Got disqualified 3 years ago, and against Aljamain, obviously. And then
I thought there was some drama behind that fight with Corey Sandhagen.
I think he won pretty decisively, but he lost a split decision to Aljamain, split decision to Sugar Sean O'Malley. So, 2 situations where the champ and the former champ, one judge thinks he's the champ. You know what I mean? 2 situations where if not for one other judge's opinion, he would be the champion. Or, at least have a win over the current champion. Merab Dvalishvili, he loses a decision to him, 11 months ago. I think we come back and we see a resurge, strong, intense Peter Yan here. I just know the cloth he is cut from. He's not the type to, I think, fucking, go the opposite way. I think he fucking bites down and comes forward like the way he fights, right? So I love Peter Yan. I want him to win this fight. I'm too close to it to really make an educated pick because while I don't have faith to pick Peter Yan as a -140 favorite over the surging Song Dong Song. I don't have the courage. I don't have the courage or the faith. And if I tell you guys, my pick is Peter Yan, it's not my betting pick to take him at -140 coming off 3 losses in a row against Yadong Song. Now, if you erased everything from my mind and these guys fought, back when Peter was champ, I'd say Peter smashes him, beats him so fucking bad. But so much data has come in since then, it's really hard to say. The pick is Peter Yan for me. You take Sugar Sean to a split decision, you take Aljamain Sterling to a split decision, you beat Corey Sandhagen, and you go the distance with Merab. It's like there's no anomaly there. Everything kind of checks out. Everything looks pretty normal. You can still be an elite level fighter with all of that happening to you. So I think that he should be a bigger favorite 5 years ago or 4 years ago, right? Should be a bigger favorite. But at this point, I'm going to take Merab or take Peter Yan and kind of hope that I'm getting, I don't know what I'm hoping that what I'm getting is Peter Yan at a great value because of him coming off 3 losses, as opposed to missing a great opportunity to bet the surging Yadong Song as an underdog here when his opponent is coming off of 3 straight losses and he's got a 5-year age advantage in the division that it matters. But 31 is not super old, so the pick's Yadong Song for me. I'm picking Yadong Song. Fuck.
Well, MMA Math says that Peter Yan wins this fight. They have a similar.
Okay. Then I'll pick Peter Yan.
They have a similar opinion in Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen absolutely wrecked Yadong Song, and Peter Yan beat Corey Sandhagen. I don't necessarily think that MMA Math checks out just based on the dimensions of Corey Sandhagen and the dimensions of Peter Yan. I don't necessarily think it's gonna correlate too much.
Any of size.
We're not gonna see like the same exact fight as we saw in that one. I tend to lean Yadong Song by split decisions. Split decision. The judges love this guy. If he sees the decision, he's going to end up winning. I mean, that being said, he lost a decision to Kyler Phillips, but he wins a lot of majority split decisions, majority draws. But Luke kind of got me charged up on Peter Yan. I was dead set on coming in here and doing my Yadong Song. But yeah, I think when you really look into it, Merab Davishvili, who's about to fight for the title, Sean O'Malley, who is the champion, and Aljamain Sterling, who is the champion, split decisions in both of those. This is a 3-round affair. It's not 5. Peter Yan often will give up the first round, kind of like collecting data, which isn't going to fare well in a 3-round fight. But I think he's going to be able to keep his foot on the gas pedal for longer. He does have gassing issues. We have seen that in the past. I don't think that's going to come into play too much, but I feel like he might pull a Cheeto Vera, lose the first round, and then have a close second round, and then kind of win the third round, and then end up losing on the scorecards. I'll go with Peter Yan on this, but I think this is going to be a really close fight, and I lean Yadong Song in the case of a decision, which it's more than likely going to. So I'm switching to Yadong Song.
Yeah. I feel you on that. I'm going with Song Yadong as well. I like what you're saying as far as that first round. Yan, not that he necessarily takes it off, but he's not, aggressive enough to win it outright. I think that could happen. And what it really came down to me is this: you have 2 tanks, right? That's how these guys fight. They move forward. They don't take a back step. It's not like they're not throwing with technique, but it's just like, not doing anything crazy. We're just throwing hammers here. When we have 2 of these guys, I'll take the guy that is not a decade, but 5 years younger, not coming off of the damage of 3 straight losses. Song Yadong, 26 years old. He's entering his prime. I just, it doesn't seem that complicated when they're both the same style. They're the same height and reach and everything. And one guy is the younger, fresher, coming off momentum, and has taken on less damage. So give me Song Yadong. If it's a slight doggy, that's great.
The only thing that worries me is that Yadong Song is open to getting hit. He's fine with it, and Peter Yan is perfectly fine with peppering you up from the outside. That and I think Peter Yan's faster. I think he's going to be faster with the hands, faster with the kicks, and he might beat up those legs early. This is what's all concerning me, but I know that Yadong Song is a tank, and I don't know if little baby leg kicks are going to win him the fight.
I'm going with Peter Yan. I'm back on Yan. I'm not going to let Yadong be certified, and the reason is the speed, the hitability, and the fact that for the first time in a long time, Yan has taken almost a full year off. Not a full year, but about 11 months at the time of the fight. Usually he's a 5-6 month kind of guy. And when you're doing 5 or 6 months training for Aljamain Sterling title fight opportunity, Corey Sandhagen 5-round main event, that does go the distance. Aljamain 5 rounds goes the distance. Sugar Sean 3 rounds goes the distance, but okay. And then Merab, I think that was 3 rounds. So it's like, it might have even been 5 though. I gotta check that out. But so it's like he had a very concentrated amount of like championship level training camps that he had to prepare for 25 minutes. And I think that if he comes in fresh and not hurt, I think he was hurt in the Merab fight. I want to hear his interviews. I want to know if he's hurt. He'll never let us know because he's Russian. He's not going to tell us if he's hurt or not. But I don't know. I think I'm kind of liking Yan now just because of did Corey Sandhagen get a takedown on Yadong Song? I think he did. I think he got takedowns in a couple rounds. And like, I don't think Jan is going to go for this, but he is good at wrestling. Like Hamzat and him are wrestling in the lobby, and like you could see he just like he knows what he's fucking doing. Like he can get underhooks, he can get takedowns. I don't think he will go for it, but he could. And I think even just like that ability to do that could be good in this fight. I feel in my head, I just picture Yadong Song bigger, and like I picture Yadong Song just swinging and hitting him, and him shelling up and not getting knocked out, but just like so Yadong Song maybe out voluming him.
Potentially.
Yeah. So like you said, I think a close split decision, Yadong Song as the underdog is the bettable way to go. I'm going to be rooting for Jan. He's high enough up in the card where if I include him in some parlays, I can hedge out a little bit on the underdog in Song. But I just think that it's too unlikely for me to picture a winner like Jan to lose 4 in a row. And it's also unlikely for me to picture Yadong Song not having an interruption when he's got 7 losses on his record. He is a 7-loss guy. Jan is not a 7-loss guy. If Jan gets 7 losses, it's because he's got Russian mafia connections and he wants out of the UFC and he's trying to fucking get into M1 Global. You know what I mean? He's doing the Demetrius Johnson screw job where he is so good that he fights just enough to lose a slight decision to prove to himself that he could have the true Kenobi Jedi way. I gotta get a drink, but guys, take everybody through the next fight. I'm gonna take a little break.
That's all. That's the whole main card.
That's the whole main card? Oh, cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool. I did it. I made it. Damn, we got a lot of prelims to break down. We got 9 prelim fights to break down, and they include some stacked fucking fights like Mateus Gamrot's on the prelims. Gelatin Almeida versus Curtis Blades is on the prelims. Michelle Pereira versus Lord is on the prelims. You got some newcomers. You got OnlyFans girls. You got Joanne Wood retiring. CJ Vergara. A lot of fucking interesting shit on the prelims. 9 prelim fights to break down. If you're one of those penny pinchers sitting there going, I would pay for the extra episode, but there's only 5 prelims this week. Why would I pay this week? Well, there's 9 this week, bitch, and some of them are probably gonna make their way to the main card. And
none of you helped me out of my time of need, so fuck y'all.
14 fights, baby. 5 fucking main card and 9 prelims. Let's get it. We're gonna break them all down for you in the Patreon. Guys, it supports the show. Like, we need this to be the only thing we do. In order for that to happen, it needs to make about $1 million a year. Me and Alex and Dan need to we make $1 million after taxes. That's like $579,000. Divide that by 3. We're all barely even, almost not even getting $200,000 a year. $200,000 a year. That's like what you need to make in today's America to even outpace inflation. So my point is, until we get to $1 million a year on the Patreon, the mission is not done, and we're not able to make a living off the show. And until that day comes, we'll forever be constrained by our 9-to-5s and by just general servitude in this corporate caste we've created with capitalism.
All right, final thoughts. If you're rolling with me,
all right, get in the Patreon, guys. $100 for the year, and if you can't figure out a way to either don't do what we do or do what we do when we win or we lose based on what we tell you, then that's on you, I guess. I don't know, but join the Patreon, full year, $100. We love you. Full picks, top to bottom. This should be a Patreon only thing. We should just only do this on the Patreon, because why are we telling these people our 5 picks again? Like, they're not.
All right, fair enough.
Paying customers. No, we'll do it. I love everybody. I don't need to be paid. I want to be paid, but I don't need it. I'll do the show with my laptop off, honestly. Sometimes on Sundays I just show up. I do the show with my laptop not even on. I just start
dry run.
Okay, all right. If you're going with me, Sean O'Malley at the top of the card. Sugar Sean O'Malley getting the win. Benoit Saint-Denis, Michael Venom Page, Jack Della Maddalena, and Piotr Jan.
Okay, if you're rolling with me, you are going with Yadong Song, Gilbert Burns, Michael Venom Page, Dustin the Diamond Poirier, and Sugar Sean O'Malley.
If you're rolling with me, going with Sean O'Malley, Benoit Saint-Denis, Michael Page, Gilbert Burns, and Yadong Song.
And if you want to know what the Triple P certified picks are, there's 2 of them on the main card. We got Sugar Sean O'Malley, Triple P certified at the tippy top, and Michael Venom Page. Could be some more on the prelims. Let's get in there and find out. Let's talk through it. We'll see you guys there. Thanks so much for joining the show. And by the way, I got a special announcement for the Patreon too, Alex. Remind me to tell them.